Buenas noches, mis amigos. Gracias for attending our Cinco de Mayo fiesta. I am Mariachi Martha Sue, live from New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay, now let's meet the ESGI team guacamole. First, we have Digital Marketing Manager, Diablo Dan Chico James. Next is Social Media Manager, Queso Kristen. Hi, Queso Kristen. Next, we have the Head of Sales and Marketing, Margarita Melinda. And that will be behind the scenes answering your questions, all of them. So now, without further ado, I will introduce you to our feature presentation presenter. Live from her casa in Orange County, California, I give you Arriba Rochelle.
Yay! Yay! Hey, everybody. Hold on a sec. Gotta have a little bit of a drink here. Now, this is Trader Joe's lime, what is it called? Jalapeno limeade. So those of you who have Trader Joe's by you, go and get some non-alcoholic Trader Joe's jalapeno lemonade. You'll be all set for Cinco de Mayo. Hey, everybody. So glad to have you here today. My name's Rochelle, as Martha Sue said, and today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about ESGI. So thanks for joining us on Taco Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, for this fiesta. We're so excited that you're here. Now, what's Nacho ordinary webinar is the fact that we are going to answer your questions live at the end. So make sure you use that question feature, as Martha Sue said, and give us all your questions that you have, and we'll pick some at the end. We're also giving away prizes, you guys, so participation is the key when we do some of our little polls that we're going to have today, okay? So we're so glad you're with us. My name's Rochelle. There's a picture of me with my two friends, Elephant and Piggy, and I've been a teacher, I've been a principal, I've been with ESGI since 2006, and I provide the professional development and implementation for districts across the country. Mostly I do it from my home, and so during this unique time, I'm still able to provide the kind of training that people need to know about ESGI. And I do love to travel, and I can't wait to get back out there and do some traveling. I know a lot of you feel the same exact way. Now, we want to get to know you a little bit more, and so we're going to do a little poll right now. It's going to pop up on the screen, and we're going to find out about you. So here's the poll. Started right now. Let's see how we get it on here. Poll must be closed to enable screen sharing. Sorry, I'm just reading out loud. And we got the poll going on here. Here we go. How many years have you been teaching? Let's look at what everybody's saying. Here we go. Wow. Okay, a few more seconds, then we're going to close the poll. All right, the poll has been closed, and here's what we see. See if we can see the results there. All right, you guys can see them, right? Okay, here we go. Back to my screen, it looks like. We love doing polls. We love finding out a little bit about you. And guess what? We're going to pick someone who answered the poll. We're going to pick them randomly, and we're going to give them a gift card to Amazon. How cool is that? So that first winner, you're going to get your Amazon gift card. At the very end, we'll announce who all the winners are. No need to register anywhere. We're just picking randomly for the people who responded. So today, we're going to learn a little bit about how to start your ESGI, because all of you just started your ESGI accounts, or you're just fairly new to it. We will tell you how to find and use over 1,400 assessments in ESGI, and also how to create your own. That was a really popular question that people ask in the registration. We're going to touch on ESGI at home, and just to let you know, you are going to be getting a link to our previous webinar where we talked in depth about the two at-home options. So we just did that one very recently. We're going to give that to you as an added bonus to this webinar. So you'll look for that in the follow-up email. And we're going to tell you how to join the ESGI community of teachers. That's super important because we learn from each other. And so if you have ideas about ESGI, or you know the answer to someone's question who put it in that question box, feel free to answer it. We're all teachers. We all want to learn from each other. So that's what we're going to learn about today. And again, get your questions ready and your chip and dip. and let's get going. All right, let's look at some of the things that you do with ESGI here. And the first thing we're going to look at is how to add and test the student. But here's what I'm doing. I'm moving my little webcam out. I hope you can still see me. I think you can. I just need to move it off my screen so I can show you everything that I have to show you here. And you guys are making me so hungry. I was just looking at what you all wrote there on what you want for Cinco de Mayo food. I love it right now. Let's look at what's going to happen here when you get into your ESGI account. You're going to add and test students. Now, it's kind of unique, the time we're in right now. All of us know that. ESGI was developed to be in the classroom. I just want you to know that, and we're going to be talking about it as if you were in the classroom. Now, later on, we're going to talk to you about how you can use it with the at-home options. But right now, we're just going to cover how it is when you're in your classroom with your class of students. So the first thing you do when you have ESGI in your classroom is you add students. Now, you can add them manually like this with an optional student ID if you want to. Pick from the drop-down menu and choose a primary language. Now, the neat thing about this is we cover English and Spanish and other right now, but you guys, we are adding so many more templates that you'll be able to have any language that you want parent letters sent home in. So right now it's English or Spanish, and you use that for the drop-down. If you pick Spanish, the parent letter will currently print in Spanish. And then you can save and create another, and then you can create your whole class list. Now, really interesting thing is that you can import your students from a student information system. So that's an IT type of discussion, but if your district is known for doing that, then you can ask for that and get some more information about it. All right, so you add a student, and then it's time to test the student. Now, the way it works in the classroom is you sit side by side with the student, or you can use the student screen option where they have a device and you have a device, and they're linked. That works remotely too, you guys. So it can work in the classroom where you two are sitting by each other and students looking at iPad and you're looking at your computer, or it can be remotely. So let's talk about it in the classroom. You bring Joe over to the computer, you pick one of over 1,400 assessments that we have in ESGI, and you click the test button. Now this appears on the screen for Joe. You read the directions, what letter is this? If he answers correctly, you're going to click yes or no. Now notice right here we have a notes section. So you can say, if he said W for this instead of U, put that in there. This one, maybe he said R. Or if he answered slowly, you can put that in there. Anything that you want to put in the notes, you can put that in there. You can also skip questions if you prefer, and you can close at any time. It will update on the pie chart here and on the home screen. It shows the last time that you tested the student. There it is, Cinco de Mayo right there. And then you can run parent letters and flashcards. That's how easy it is to add students, test a student, and then you'll be ready to run reports. Super easy to do that, and if you do the import, it's already done for you. So that's something that you can show your administration and say, it would be so much easier if we imported students from our student information system, and you could get more information about them. Excuse me. Oh, good thing I had that drink right here. Now that we know how to add and test students, let's find out what the next topic is. That would be how to run reports. And it is really the next step in the ESGI feature. Let's look at the reports. The first report, we're not going to cover all reports here, I don't think, unless we find out that you have questions on all of them. But the primary one is called the parent letter. Now, the parent letter, as we mentioned, is in English or Spanish, and it's right here on the side. Now, the parent letter, you can choose a student, you can choose a subject, and then you can choose which test you want to show up on the letter. This is often missed by teachers, to know that you actually can modify what it says on the parent letter. Now, when I show it for my friend Emma here, notice that it has a template at the very top. This one happens to be in English. Again, if you picked Spanish, it would show up in Spanish. It shows everything you got correct, the student got correct and incorrect on the assessment. It also shows the test date. Now, if you don't want to show everything there, like I said, you can modify what shows up on the parent letter from that first screen. If you don't want to send sounds home because that's not really practiced maybe the same way at home that you practice in a classroom, then you can remove that from the parent letter and you can just show it without that. So that's the parent letter in English or Spanish. You can modify what the template says if you would like. It's right here where it says that message, and you can modify it by simply highlighting it and typing in something new. So if you want to make a beginning of the school letter that says, welcome to a new school year, you can add that into the parent letter. You can have a closing remark saying, you know, this child is now promoted to first grade or something to that effect. That's found right here under message. The next thing I'd like to show you is about the flashcards. That is a report over here, and it's something that we believe really enhances the parent communication. This flashcard will only show the ones that the student missed. So notice it has the student's name on it and the date, and it has the item that they need to practice at home. If you'd like to download this, you can attach it to an email and send it home. So that's the parent letter and the flashcards. Our next report that we absolutely love is called the item analysis. The item analysis graph came to be because teachers wanted to know what their least known item was in their class. And when we click the item analysis, we can find that out instantly just with a click of a mouse. So in this class, V is the least known uppercase letter, and most everyone has mastered the X and the A down here. So this teacher is not going to spend a lot of time teaching X, A, but will spend more time teaching V and D. Now, the neat thing about this graph is it's very interactive. So if you click on one of these bars here, a list pops up on the side showing all the students who got it correct, incorrect, and those who were not even tested. So when you're making small groups for the letter D, you're really going to concentrate on these students down here who responded incorrectly the last time you assessed them. Now, this can be downloaded as well, and when you download it, you see a lot more information about all of the letters and all of the students. So just make sure you click that download up here. You can resort it into a lot of different orders as well. And you can choose from different subject tabs and different tests that you'd like to get that information. That's the item analysis, the parent letter, and the flashcards. A few more reports we'll just touch on quickly because they're really, really great reports. One of them is called the Student Detail Report. Now, the way that this one came about was teachers asked for a report that really just showed everything in one place. They're calling it the Rockstar Report. That's really what they feel like when they walk into a parent meeting, showing everything that the student knows on one report. So look at this report. For one student, this is called the Student Detail Report, showing what the student got correct and incorrect down here, like you saw in the parent letter, showing a line graph of how they got to that score, super helpful for RTI purposes, so you can see the path that they got to their score. Also, the score across the top and the grade, which correlates to your report card grading scale. So up here, I have set my grading scale for a 4, 3, 2, 1 system. Perhaps you have something different. If you have an A, B, C, D we can accommodate that. If you have an O, S, and N, we can accommodate that. Any grading scale that you have, you set it up, and then ESGI takes your raw score and converts it and makes it nicely color-coded and puts it on this graph for you. So you can see our friend Emma here, she started out with an 8, which equated to a 1 on her report card, but at the end, she was at 26, which equated to a 4. So all the tests are on one sheet, and you can see it all in one place, which is really great because some parents want to see it in the pie chart, some would like to see it in the raw score, and some would like to see it in the graph. Student detail report found down here at the bottom. With the student chosen, you click on student detail and you see all your data in one place. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is the student progress report. This also came about directly from teacher input. And let me just say a little aside. We survey our teachers every single year and we gather that data, and that's how we make the improvements in ESGI, or the changes that we get from the teachers' requests. Those go into our system and we make changes. So this came about because people were saying, you know, now that we can put grades into ESGI, it'd be really neat to have a progress report to send home midterm, perhaps, to show the grades. So this is what this is, the student progress report. You set this up to look just like your report card. So if these were topics on my report card, I would set them up here, and then across the top are my marking periods. And then you see those grades. You could see how the student performed, N meaning the lowest grade, and O, of course, the highest grade. So you can see very easily color-coded about the student progress. So send that home midterm, no question about how the child's performing. All right, we're going to take a little break right now so that I can take a little drink, and we're going to have a new poll that's coming out just for you. All right, this one's a good one. Where was ESGI invented? This is a really good one. Give us your answers. Where do you think ESGI was invented? Could be a trick question. There's 2 answers on there that could be correct. All right, you guys are so smart. You knew that ESGI was invented in a kindergarten classroom in Southern California. Yes, by a kindergarten teacher. He really knew that it was very difficult to assess students with paper and pencil and get the kind of reporting that you just saw right there. And so he developed ESGI as his master's project, and here we are today. So we're able to use any internet connected device. Therefore, ESGI is used around the world to assess students. Okay, let's look at what our next topic is. We have reports, and then, tests. I love this one. We keep adding more tests, and we have to keep changing that number, but we don't mind because we keep adding more tests just for you. Now, the unique thing about ESGI is you can use our 1,400 tests that we have in there, or you can create your own. So let me show you how. Back to my account right here. Let me get that so you can see it. All right. The Test Explorer is way up here at the top. Now, can I just say a little secret to you guys? There's going to be some changes to ESGI. You're going to love it. And the Test Explorer probably will get a new name, but it'll still be the place you find all the stuff for ESGI. So currently, when you get to the Test Explorer, it's going to look like this. Now, there's a lot to look at here, but I really want you to focus on the middle of the screen, and that's the Friends of ESGI. We have partnered with some people that you may recognize on this list because you probably follow them on social media. You probably see them at conferences when we did go to conferences, and you probably know that they have some great curriculum out there. So these people have developed specialty tests just for us. We have state tests on here. So if you're in the state of Illinois, we got you covered. If you're in Georgia, we got you covered. If you're in Delaware or Mississippi or Texas, we got you covered. So you would just look for the tests that you're looking for in this list. If you're looking for Common Core, we got those in here too. So look at some specialty tests by scrolling down and looking for the test that you're looking for. If you see something that interests you, you can click on it And then it will show you all the tests by that author in that subject. Now you can filter because there's going to be a lot of them. So on the left-hand side are some filters that you might want to apply. One is you might want to just see what other people in your district have done. Now the neat thing about this is we connect people in districts, and if you click on district, just like I did, and you don't see any tests there, that means you're not connected to the district yet, but it's easy to get requested to be linked to your district, and then you'll be able to find all the district created tests. The unique thing about that is they're going to match your curriculum. So if other teacher leaders have created tests already, you might as well use them because they probably match your curriculum. Otherwise, you just find a test that you're looking for that looks interesting, and you click on its name. Now this one here is called Compare Objects, and you can see it has a Common Core numbering title on it, and you can preview the test. Now when you're in preview mode, you're just going to see some arrows down here to advance through the test, not the yes or no because you're not in a testing screen, you're just in the preview mode. So you walk through the test yourself to see if it looks like something that you would like, and then if you want to, you can use this test as is. Super simple, free of charge. You don't have to pay extra for these tests, and you just add them to your account over here by clicking one of the boxes. Now, if I was a kindergarten teacher and I wanted to add this to my kindergarten math, I would simply click right here and add it to my home screen. But I can put it in more than one place. So if I wanted to use this for my kindergarten math, and maybe I have a combo class, and I also want to use it for my first grade math, I can add it there too. It'll appear in the same place, or appear in two different tabs, but it will sync when I give the test, okay? So I'm going to put that there. Now, if I like this test, but for some reason, I don't want balloons. I don't want balloons on my test. So I can make a copy of this, rename it. Now, the one thing I always do is I always add my initials to any test that I change so that I know that it's my own test. So I'm going to call this Compare and then save it. Now at this point, I have the ability to edit this test in any way that I want. So there's that balloon question. I don't want balloons, so I'm going to edit it. I'm going to take out all the balloons and add something else right there. When I'm all done, I'm going to save this test. And then it's my brand new test that I have added to my account, okay? So you're all set when you want to modify tests. And that's what I tell people. Always look for things that are kind of like what you want and just modify them to meet your needs. Another really handy way to look for tests that you're looking for is right here in the search bar. My advice to you is search by concept. And the reason why is because what we have labeled maybe for kindergarten might be something somebody else uses for first grade or vice versa. So if you just always filter by the grade level here, you probably will miss out on some of the tests. So my advice to you is just put in a concept. So let's say we're looking for money tests. Here's all my money tests. Now, some of them are going to be second grade here and maybe first grade. And maybe at this point, I do want to filter. But perhaps I am doing something with identifying money. So I can look here and I can say, oh, coin ID and value. Look at the test. Yes, I like it. Or I like this test, but I don't like the dollar bill. So I'm going to take out the dollar bill by making a copy and editing it. But if I like it as is, don't forget, just add it to your account over here. And back on the home screen, that test that I added for money is now in my K Math down here at the bottom. Ready to go. I just choose a student, start using the test. Super easy to find 1,400 assessments in ESGI just by using the search or the filters, and then copy them to meet your needs if you'd like. Now again, if you went in and you click district test, there were none. Request to be linked to your district. So you can see some of the other tests for your district. We're going to give you some information at the end about how to contact our customer support or how to get linked, and we'll put that link in there. Okay, so the last thing on the subject of tests I promised you was the auto test creator. Now let's say you have a unique site word list, as we all probably do, and you say, well, I need to make my own test. How am I going to do that? Again, you go to the Test Explorer. Super easy to use the Auto Test Creator. You probably can find it, if you want to, right here, or you can use this drop down. There's two places to find it. Auto Test Creator here or here, takes you to the same place. Now on this, we are giving you some topics. Do you want to make a sight word test, a computation test? So be thinking like addition, subtraction facts, multiplication facts. Maybe you're making a vocabulary list. Any kind of lists that you want to make, you can make in the Auto Test Creator. So I'm going to make a sight word test. Now I'm going to call this sight word list J. Here's the choice of fonts. And we pre-populate it by saying, what word is this? But if you say, read this word, all you do is highlight it and type in, read this word. Now, on another screen, I have a list of sight words that I have saved on my computer right here. I am simply going to copy by Control-C from this Word document or any electronic document that you have there. And I'm going to Control-V into the Auto Test Creator. Now there's my words right there. Super simple. I can move them around if I want to. I can drag them, drop them different places. I can edit them. But here's what I'm going to do now, show you how easy. I'm going to click Save, view the test details, just so I could take one more look at my test. Now I noticed something about this. It auto-capitalized everything, and you guys know we probably don't want capitalization on our sight word test. So I'm just going to make an edit just by clicking the little pencil right there, going in, making it lowercase, and saving it. At this point, I can rearrange them. I can add pictures if I want. I can change the color of the font if I want, whatever I want to do. I can even add a test intro screen. And the really neat thing about a test intro screen, it's not scored. It's just reminder of how to administer the test. So you guys, I don't know about you, but when I was a teacher in the classroom, there were many lessons where I forgot the manipulatives. I don't know if anybody else had that same thing. Like I totally forgot because I didn't write it down, go get the manipulatives. So this is like your little Post-it note that you're putting at the beginning of the test telling you, hey, better go get the manipulatives before you give the test, okay? So whatever you want to tell yourself, put it in the test intro page. It's not scored, just pops up on the screen to remind you something about the test, okay? Now, once you've created the test, don't forget you have to add it over here to your account by clicking one of these boxes over here. Just because you made it, it's not quite yet on your screen until you click one of the boxes for the subject tab. Save it, go back to the home screen, and that brand new test we just made, just like that, is going to be right here in the first grade sight words. It was letter J right here. And all I do is pick a student, test the student on the test, and run those reports. Just like that, we're doing good. And let's see, back to our next topic. All right, so we covered 1,400 tests in the Test Explorer and the Auto Test Creator. That's one of our favorites, you guys, the Auto Test Creator. We're so happy to have that on there. Just be thinking of all the ways that you can use that Auto Test Creator. Many of you asked this question when we had the registration. How can I use ESGI at home? We know it's super difficult right now, and many of you are teaching remotely, and we admire that so much. So ESGI really wanted to see what we could do to help you and parents and students at home. So when this all happened, we started to really think and brainstorm, what can we do? So one of the things we found out was that student screen can work at home, meaning you can remotely assess the students via a linked device in real time. And all you have to do is set up meetings with parents, get the student screen, give the code to the parent, they put it in their device, then on some kind of a Zoom call, a Skype call, some kind of, you could use your iPhone, you need to watch the student and listen to the student as they are being assessed. So let me just show you real quick where to find that student screen option. So you're using your own ESGI account, and then the student is going to use their own device at their house. So they need to have internet access, and they need to be able to put a code in. So they'll need a little bit of parent help at this point. Now what you're going to do is you are going to have them navigate to this screen right here. This is ESGI SS SS stands for student screen. We have all these directions for you. Don't even worry about it. I will show you where you can go to find all this information, but just know this is how it works. The parent goes to this website and gets ready for you. Then you go to your ESGI account. You go to your profile. Down here at the bottom is a purple box, and it says Get Student Screen Code. Now, right here, it reminds you again that your parents need to go to esgiss.com and enter the code that you're going to give them. Now, this is a very timely thing. You have to be on the phone with them, ready to go, because the code will expire if it's not used for security purposes. So get the student screen code, and it tells you right there, in 2 minutes, this code is going to expire. So you tell the parent, okay, please enter QXVC on your device, okay? And they do that. So let's do that right now so you can see how it works. We're pretending this is the parent screen. And then it says connected, waiting for test session to start. So that's what the kid sees on theirs. And then you come back to yours. It jumps right back to the home screen for you. And then you click on one of the tests. Now notice, I'm going to do split screen so you can see what it looks like. So this is not the, okay, student screen here, my screen here. Get that on there. Oh, hold on a sec. Student screen, his name's not on it. My screen, I see his name, I see this, and then I'm clicking the yes, no buttons. Notice the student doesn't see that over there. And I can take any kind of notes I want in the notes section. He won't see that either. So I get through the test just like that. Now he can see his score there and you see it there. Now the neat thing about it is I can close it on my screen, go back to another test for Joe and click this and get started. Notice it stayed synced is what I meant to say, so that you can do multiple tests in one test session with a student. Now, if you call up another family, you're going to have to go through the process again of getting another link code from your profile, but that's okay because it's a new student and you want to make sure you do that. Okay, that's a very quick overview of student screen. This can work in the classroom, but currently it works at home. And so we want you to know that it's super easy to do. You just need to be able to see and hear your student answering the question, obviously. Okay, so that's how that one works. That one we're calling student screen. Now the next one, I'll show you on the PowerPoint so you can see it. The next one is the free parent and caregiver accounts. We had heard that parents were struggling a little bit with what are we supposed to do with our kids at home? How can we support the teacher? How can we review and assess how the student is doing? So we're calling it a progress monitoring or skills review account. It is free to the parent or caregiver. It will not affect the data in your account. In fact, it's not linked at whatsoever. However, you get to choose which tests are published into that parent account with a special purple tab. And so, not a purple tab, a special tab that they will see on their account. And so you get to choose what the parent sees, and then they will get a free account. Again, doesn't cost them anything, doesn't affect your account. Those are common questions people ask. So when the parent is there, they will click on an account that you have set up called At Home, and then that's all the parent will see there, and then they will be clicking the tests that you've provided for them. We will give you all the directions on how At Home works when we send you that follow-up email. We also have a couple websites which we'll put on there which give you all the directions on how to do this. This one is the ESGI At Home. Shows you how it works, and there's all the steps involved there. And it even has a video showing how it's done. And then we have another one that you send to the parents, and it tells them how to do that as well. Okay, so if you have any questions, we do have websites set up. to answer all those questions. And we even show the parent, if they want to, they can run the parent letter and flashcards and send them to you via email so that you can keep track of how the students are doing at home with the parents. Okay, let's see where we are now. I think it's time for another poll. Let's see what comes up. Take a little drink. Oh gosh, you guys, when is your summer break? As a parent of a first grader, I am counting down the days till summer break. Let's see how all of you are. Okay, it's right about, it's really mixed there, isn't it? Still have 4 weeks to go. So do we. We have 4 weeks to go. We're already 7 weeks into remote learning, so wow, okay. Looking good. Now you're all seeing what the results are. Some of those people, let's people 2 more weeks. That's pretty good. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know we're always looking forward to it, but I know right now it's even more difficult. So we just admire you. Thank you for all that you're doing for parents and kids at home. To help you during this summertime or any time really, we want you to join the ESGI teacher community. We have a lot of resources for you, and perhaps during your summer break, you might want to start looking at some of the resources that ESGI has provided for you. One great resource is called the All-Star Teacher Group on Facebook. It's the ESGI All-Star Teacher Group. We have a special group where teachers can go on and ask questions about ESGI, talk about different features of ESGI. And we also do a live video called a 3 on Thursdays. And so on Thursdays, we pick 3 questions that have been asked that week and we go over them in detail. So if you have some questions burning about ESGI, go on over to the All-Star Teacher Group, request access, and then join us and start learning more about ESGI. We also do free monthly webinars. We have one coming up very soon. And so it's all going to be about SEL, and it's going to be fabulous. So each month we have a free monthly webinar, and we do it about the 3rd Wednesday of the month in the evening time. So we have all of those archived for you in our professional development library, and we have all the webinars from the past in there. So if you want to do some binge watching and learning about ESGI, it's not just about ESGI, it's just about education, go and look at our free monthly webinars. Also on our YouTube channel, ESGI software on YouTube, you can find all of our archived information about all these webinars, getting started playlist, super helpful for people that are just getting started with ESGI. So head on over to ESGI's YouTube channel to find out more information. All right, let's see what else you can find out about ESGI. You can find out how to get support. And we have a fabulous customer support team. You see their pictures right there from our website. And the arrow is pointing to a chat feature. So give a shout out if you've ever chatted online with our customer support team. They're awesome. And so they can answer all of your questions or direct you. They will even sometimes provide you a personalized video to show, you know, I went into your account and I saw this, and they'll give you some instructions. You can always find them on our support site or by emailing support@esgisoftware.com. There's the team. Aren't we good looking? Check out, the team is ready to answer your questions, and so am I. I've been seeing lots of questions come in. So the reason this is not your ordinary webinar is you get to ask questions live by having the team give me the questions, and then we will answer those for you. And then we'll find out who won the prizes. That'll be great. All right, let's see how we're going to find out about the questions. One moment, please. All right. Ooh, look at, I even got the winners on here. All right. Lots and lots here. All right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. How to share tests. Okay, great question. Let me pull in my account right here. First of all, we think teachers love to share. And so it's an auto feature, let's just say it's turned on automatically, you guys. When you create a test, it's turned on automatically. Let me show you what I mean. I just clicked on create a test, and down here it says share with my district. Notice it's already checked because we think you want to share. If you don't want to share, totally fine, just uncheck it. Now this applies to the tests that you create. They'll be auto shared. So again, if you don't want to, you don't have to. You could just turn it off. Tests that are published by ESGI, of course, are already shared. We do not share anything outside of your district because of copyright, because you have a curriculum that you've purchased in your district, and if you create tests, let's say for Scholastic, we don't want to share that outside of your district because other people shouldn't be using Scholastic's materials, okay? So just know that when it says share with district, it truly means only sharing with people in your district. All right, so let me show you. Oh, and something else I want to point out right here. We didn't cover it before because the auto test creator will only let you do the yes, no questions. However, ESGI has just developed a single score test. And what this means is if you want to create a test where you just simply enter a single score, because let's think about this. If you want to say, did the child count 1 to 100? You don't want 100 questions and clicking through 100 questions with the child. You simply want to say, this child only counted to 75, okay? So you create a single score test and you simply enter 75 and it will report out that child got 75 out of 100, okay? That's what a single score is useful for. It's also useful for reading levels, you guys. So if you have 5 reading levels that a child needs to get to, you can enter 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 out of 5, and that will give you a score for reading level, okay? So that was that. How do we add a test to a subject tab? Okay, let's talk about what a subject tab is real quick. Back on the home screen, we have provided you some pre-populated sample tabs, okay? And so here's KELA and KMath. So if you are a kindergarten teacher, when you signed up for ESGI, you got those sample tabs with sample tests inside. That does not mean those are all the tests we have. They're simply ones we think you would use. If you're a first grade teacher, again, you will get a first ELA with these sample tests and a first grade math with these sample tests. Now, when you want to add or subtract from the subject tabs, you go up here to the Test Explorer. Up at the very top, it says Organize Subjects. Now, here's all of mine listed. Notice I have a lot. I like to group my tests in different ways for different purposes, and you might not have this many, or you could. It's totally up to you if you like to group things together specifically, because how you group them is what prints on the report. So whatever you have chosen, that's what's going to show up on the report. So think about how you might want to group them for that purpose, okay? If you want to make a weekly tab, you can do that, and then just put everything that you're going to do for the week in one tab. And again, tests can live under more than one place at a time. So let me show you what I mean. Down here's add a new subject. I'm going to call this one weekly because these are the things I'm going to teach this week. Now, I will already have looked at all the tests in the Test Explorer and made a list of the ones I want to add here. Just know that. But on this add a test, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find all the tests. Remember, these are the ones I just made. So I'm going to put those in there. And then I can add a bunch of different ones too from different subject areas if I want. It's totally fine. They're all going to live peacefully under one subject tab. And I put it over here. So weekly now has all of these in here. And when I run the report for weekly, it will be in there. Here's weekly way down here. These are my tests. I simply run through them. Then I print that parent letter, and those are the ones that are going to print on the parent letter, okay? So again, Test Explorer, Organize Subjects, find the subject tab you're looking for. You can remove tests if you want, and you can add them here. Okay, can we import from Clever? Yes, you absolutely can. That is something that is a district decision, but yes, it absolutely happens with many, many, many of our districts. Okay, when you change the parent letter template, does it change for everyone? Yes, it does. And can you change it for just one student? Yes, you can download it and then change it for the student if you want. There is a download feature, so let's show you that. Here's my friend Emma. Here's the parent letter, and I can download it for the student, and then I can show for student, download it. And if I download it as a Word file, I can do whatever I want with it, and then I can modify it in any way I want, okay? So I'm gonna open it in the Word file, and you can see that it's easy to modify. Okay, so that's how you do it for an individual student. And yes, if you modify the template for English, every English parent letter will be the same, okay? All right, back to my PowerPoint and back to creating a test and sharing it. Okay, let's go back to that. Let me put this on. All right, thanks for your patience. Lots of moving parts here. Create a test and share it. I think we kind of covered that one. It's in the Test Explorer. It's already pre-populated here, share with the district. And just know that you can only edit tests that you personally create or copy. You have to be the author of the test in order to make changes to it. So if you ever see a test that you want to fix or change, make a copy of it first, and you can change it and share it. Oh, good, this is a good one. Okay, test details. This is often missed, you guys. Okay, right here, under the uppercase letters, there are two buttons down here. One's called History and one is called Details. People don't like to click on them, but let me just show you how valuable this information is on both of these. This one's called the History. This is what we talked about before, the progress that Emma took to get to 100%. You can see how she got to each place, and you can download that as well. You can click from there to the details, or you can just click on the details button. The thing I like about this is it shows every single time she was assessed. It shows the date and the time. And let me just say something about the time real quick. The time is a time stamp. It is not a timed test. ESGI isn't timed. The teacher can take as much or as little time as needed when giving the assessment. However, it's a time stamped test. So you can see how long it took the student to do this test. So on this date at this time, it took her 39 seconds to do the test. And then if you go to another one, this one took 46 seconds. Now you think, why might that be important? Well, if you are tracking students' progress morning versus afternoon, that is one key. You could see how long it took maybe in the morning versus the afternoon. You can compare with your colleagues perhaps. Like this one, if on average it takes you about 2 minutes to get through uppercase letters test, and it takes your colleague 46 seconds, you can have a conversation about, you know, are you giving too much wait time? Am I giving not enough wait time? And you can kind of have a conversation about being more standardized across your grade level, okay? You also can see the correct and incorrect items on each one of the tests. And you can even do a couple other things, which I find very, very handy on this. You can delete a test session. You think, well, why would I want to delete a test session? If you accidentally start testing on a student and then you realize it, you probably want to delete that test session and start with another child. But you can show the deleted, and when you do that, it'll show all the deleted test sessions and you can restore them too. So don't worry about if you accidentally delete one, you can always restore it. You can also edit any test session. And this is super valuable, you guys, especially right now with this remote learning. Let's say that you have some paper and pencil assessments. Maybe they were mailed to you by the families and you wanted to enter that data into ESGI, but it was like 4 weeks ago. You can enter the assessment as if you were giving it to the child right then, and then come back here and edit the date. And all you have to do is go back on the calendar 4 weeks, pick the date, and then add it to the ESGI. And it will backdate. That's really handy to have that feature in ESGI. You could pick a date, and then it will backdate. Okay? So just know that we have some features that are often missed in the history and the details. That was a good question. Thank you for bringing that up. And let's see. All right, good, you guys. All right, I think we covered a lot of your questions. I still see them coming in. I so appreciate that. Just know that if you have more questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Go over to the Facebook group, All Star Teacher, put them in there. I will answer them live on Thursdays as well, 3 on Thursdays, don't forget. All right, let's see the whole team. Cheers to the whole team. Let's see who we got on here. Yay! There we go. That's your ESGI team. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Cinco de Mayo, everybody. So go and have a great time. And thanks for your attention. Look for that email following up. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.